Start streaming. Are we streaming yet? Check, check, 1, 2. 1, 2, check. Okay, there we go. Ah, forgot to pull up some music. Let's see. Checking it out, checking it out. This one claims to be best dubstep mix. There we go. Yeah, I guess I'll go with that. Okay, coming back to the stream, as I had taken a small break in order to get something to eat. I took a little walk around the block, and wait, hold on. Yeah, I took a walk around the block, grabbed myself a little bag of chips and a soda in the form of a Coca-Cola, and warmed up some leftovers from last night, which consisted of barbecued pork ribs, muy delicioso, and some leftover baked chicken, like a little wing of a leftover baked chicken, and it was pretty tasty. It was pretty good. It was sufficient. So here I am back doing this digital live stream. I guess in a sense showcasing how I go about doing my digital art and what I'm working on right now. For those who either just tuned in late or clicked on this video first, I am doing a shoot. What did I call it? 3D modeling reference sheet. So I'm drawing like the front view of the character and the side view of the character, and pretty much the same thing I did for this character here, and doing it again for this commission for the character Izumi Sagiri from, I believe the series is called Euro manga, however you pronounce it. And this commissioner commissioned, like, besides this character, I think 3 additional characters for me to draw in these 3D reference sheets, so he can get 3D models made of these characters. And I don't know what he's using these characters for, but I assume probably for like VR chat or something like that. Perhaps like he's getting models built to to just utilize in VR chat or something. I have no idea. It's just what I assume. It's just an assumption of mine, because looking around at other YouTube videos, I see that VR is pretty big at the moment, and I so want to get like my own VR headset and try out some of these VR games. Maybe poke in on a VR chat every now and then. But yeah, it all depends. Like if I can afford it, like later on. But it is pretty interesting. It looks pretty cool, and I actually got a chance to try like VR like a couple of times at my previous place of employment. There was someone who had a laptop set up for VR, and I believe he had an Oculus headset, and he allowed me to try it out. And he had like a what was it? A Minecraft game going. Like he he utilized VR for his Minecraft gaming, and putting it on, it was just pretty cool to just see that environment in real-time 3D space through the VR headset, and just how everything felt so tangible, especially like the heads-up display, just like it appeared to be hovering right in front of me. And it was pretty cool. And the second time I got to try a VR headset, I believe it was a HTC. Oh shoot, what is that one called? Uh, oh, I can't remember, but it was at a mall, and this guy was charging people like a few bucks a pop for a few minutes to play with the VR headset. And I got to play this little shooting game, like this shooting gallery game where you're shooting a bunch of robots and stuff. And it was just amazing. And sometime in the near future, I would definitely, or I guess maybe far future, I don't know how much money I'll be able to pull in. I'm hoping to generate a lot of interest in some of my artworks and my art videos, just so I can try some of these things out and maybe like get into doing some VR let's plays or just let's plays in general. But first, I need to get the appropriate funds in order to afford a gaming system, and later on maybe afford like a a VR system. I think that'd be key. That would be key. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Oh shoot, this reference line was a little too far off. Okay. The apparel for this character, just some details of the costume or the clothing seem to change depending, I guess, on the artist who's drawing it. So I don't know which one to follow. But I guess it really doesn't matter. But me being like such a detail-oriented individual, like these things just bug me. I just get real nitpicky about it. And it's like, no, it's got to be perfect. It's got to be the correct reference or whatever. But it's weird. Like sometimes I get like that just pertaining to like I guess some of these reference models and characters that I try to portray accurately. And then other times I'm just like freaking lazy and just like, that's good enough. I guess it's just I guess it all depends on my mood. Maybe I should just get in the whole good enough mood just so I can finish these commissions in a timely manner and start working on some cartoons. Yeah, let's start doing that. Just work on some YouTube animations, YouTube cartoons, all that good stuff. Because I would definitely like to. Um, don't don't know if I want to say joining the crowd, but definitely just like make my own little brand of YouTube animations. It's like the YouTube animation crowd seems pretty cool, but like I don't think I'd be invited into joining any like group discussions or like panels or anything. Just based on who and what I am. So I don't have any high hopes for that. I just want to make some awesome animations and wanting to get started on that as soon as possible. Once these commissions are complete. Oh, let's see. Ah, nuts. How many buttons does she have on her shirt? 1, 2, 4, I guess. 4 buttons. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one might be a little. Sometimes snapping is convenient, sometimes it's not. I don't know why this. Okay. I hope that fixed it. There. Let's clean up this sketch too. I guess I don't have to clean up the whole thing, just some of the details, such as the hands, the feet, and the face. And the reason I'm doing this, for those who weren't here for the previous video, I tend to sketch things in a very low resolution. So this base sketch that you see here, I drew it in 70, I believe it was 72, 72 pixels per inch, 72 ppi. And right now, as you saw, like it's now at 150 ppi. So being at 150 ppi, like I'll go in again and just clean up some of the details. I don't have to be too detailed with the top of the head there since it's going to be covered by hair, but I'm going to go ahead and bring in the ear a little bit just so it doesn't interfere with the hair. after being modeled. Because looking up the reference for this character, like her ears are hidden by her hair. Someone just joined the chat. It's for Grammaton. He says, "Hey, John B. Sagiri. I see a lot of lowly art with her, but I've never seen the show." Yeah, I've never seen the show. And like when this commissioner had me or commissioned this 3D modeling reference, it's like the first time I ever heard of the character. Full Grammaton asks, "Why did I choose to draw her, by the way?" And he says, "Oh yeah, right, commission." That's cool. After adjusting the resolution, is this guide still... There we go. Hmm. Let's see if I can find a neutral facial expression for this character. Okay. Okay. Ooh, excuse me. Hmm. I think that's all the detail I need. All the other parts will be detailed once I bump this up to the final, I guess, resolution. Actually, let me decrease the size of this eye a little bit. I don't know. I guess that's good. Oops. Oops. Okay. Might need this here. For those curious as to what I'm drinking, it's Coca-Cola, and I apologize for the volume at which I drink. um, it's been noted to me several times in RL how loud I drink, and listening to it in previous streams, it's absurd the volume of it, and it's pretty crazy. And if like I don't know if it's a funny story. I don't know if it's even interesting, but like the story behind that is a long time ago. I can't remember how old I was. I think I was in like maybe I was either 15 or 16. I was working on a house, just like laying down the foundation or helping with laying down the foundation to put this mobile home. And during that time, I just got it was pretty hot. It was like in the middle of the summer, and I got pretty thirsty at that time, and just messing around with some of my relatives who were there. I just started drinking, or in a manner which made every gulp I took very audible, and it was something that I had to strain in my throat in order to do so, and we just kind of had a good laugh. But somehow, in doing that, I can't not drink loudly anymore. So yeah, it's weird. I somehow broke my throat to the point where it's like usually when you see people drink, you don't really hear too much. It's not that audible. But then me, all you can hear is this like huge jukluth, 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 jukluth. That's that's the sound effect that Navajos make when they're expressing like someone's drinking pretty loudly. It's a weird little sound. Anyway, yeah. So I'm gonna try to be mindful whenever I need to take a drink of something. I'll try to do it as quietly as possible because the drinking sounds I make are. I assume that some people might find it gross. Like, oh, that's gross. Why does he have to drink so loudly? It's not that I have to, it's just I can't quite help it. So in the future, I'll try to be mindful of how I'm drinking or imbibing my liquids. But yeah, in this video, I am drinking Coke. Yeah, I think that's good. Oh yeah, the feet. Whoops, wrong layer. I hate it when you start doing adjustments in the wrong layer and then after finding that out, you have to either undo everything you just did or just that all the adjustments and changes you made in that layer have to be cut out and repasted in the appropriate layer. But still, that action might mar some of the detail that you put in that layer that you were accidentally correcting in. I don't know. It's annoying. Like when you forget which layer that you're working on, or you neglect to make sure that you're drawing in the right layer. I don't know if anyone heard that just now, but I just drank some more Coca-Cola, and it took a lot of effort to just drink it silently. How do people do that? How do you drink so quietly that it doesn't disturb the people around you? I've lost that ability. It just feels weird. Hmm. Okay. Wow, that's a bright red. Okay, now I'm going to go in and just tighten in some more of these details, and then we'll take it up to the next, I guess, full resolution and start putting in the final lines. But I don't know, like these details seem pretty tight here, so yeah, I guess I won't worry about that. But what I will do is bring these details to the side, just so I can start working on the whoops. Oh, start doing the side view. Um, Hold on, let me look up some more Izumi sagiri. Just see how they render the side of her head a little bit. Okay, from the side, her ear is partially visible, so I shall keep that in mind. Hmm, hold on. Sometimes I do this. Uh, I try to draw things with depth, but in a 3D modeling reference, you have to draw things as flat as possible because that's the point of perspective, like the front view camera and side view camera use. It's like when you're straight side view or front view, there is no perspective. And I was about to draw her hair locks in perspective, just kind of like drawing her other thing of hair right here, but yeah, I don't think that's correct because it would line up perfectly with the. It ought to line up perfectly with this other lock of hair. So I think this should actually come out a little more, like right about there. But yeah, I tend to have the habit of drawing things in perspective when they don't have to be in perspective, especially in a 3D modeling reference such as this. Hmm. Okay, got another little boner here, right about here. Hmm. And her hair's pretty long. Like it, how far does it go down? Hmm. I'm just seeing how long her hair is, and it seems to end in a bit of a, I guess, another ponytail. Different drawings of her have different lengths, but they're all generally around her back here. Some drawings have it just her hair coming down to about this region here, but I guess I'll go ahead and keep it simple and just follow follow this one. Yeah. And I'm done with my Coca-Cola. Now it's back to my coffee that I haven't yet finished. Oh, more people have joined the chat. Woo! Oh, whoops! I almost dropped an empty cup. Hello, Daniel Collard and Cal Larkin. Dan Collard says, "Is this a reference for a 3D model someone wants to make of her, and you're just laying down the groundwork?" Yes. He also says, "Also, hey Johnston, hey, how's it going?" Cal Larkin says, "Back in and food filled. I see. Yes, I had some leftovers from the fridge, but also went out for a walk. Just walked around one lap around these 2 blocks in my neighborhood, and feel pretty good. Feel pretty refreshed after that little walk, and pilfered through my fridge and pulled out some leftovers from last night. And I guess throughout the week there was last night we had barbecued pork ribs, 3 pieces of that left, so I ate that, and leftover baked chicken wing. So I just warmed all that up and ate that. Ah, nuts. I did it again. Now hell. It's just a copy anyway. Nah, I did it again. Ah, drawing the wrong layer. Shoot. Is this thing wigging out again? No. Just had to make sure. I might go to the theater sometime. I saw that the Han Solo, a Star Wars story, is available at the Dollar Theater a few blocks away from where I live. And I was thinking about checking it out. And I'm to understand that it didn't get a lot of positive reviews. So even though I'm slightly apprehensive as to investing time to it, like the money wouldn't be an issue because it'd just be $2 for an admission, $2 for a ticket at the Dollar Theater. A Soy Wars story. It was okay. Daniel Collard says it's only $1, so go for it. Yeah, I figure I might as well do that. Thinking about maybe going tonight or just sometime, perhaps over the weekend. I don't know. Guess I'll feel it out. I think I want to get a lot of these commissions done. Get my clear my plate a lot more before I feel comfortable in indulging in some recreational time at a theater or wherever. Cal Larkin says no one watched it out of retaliation for The Last Jedi. That's sort of what I get the impression of, like from hearing some of these reviews. And yeah, I wasn't much of a fan of The Last Jedi. It was such a weird turn of events when compared to the previous one, the Force Awakens. I mean, like for the Force Awakens, you had somewhat of a coherent plot and stuff, but then in the Last Jedi, it's like you go on these like side adventures with some of the characters involved, only to have them just turn out to be utterly fruitless and pointless. In fact, and it was just such a weird thing to do in a movie. Is just like you invest so much time in like these characters and like what they're planning to do or what they're attempting to do, and only to have them in the end just be pointless. And it's like, well, what, why even bother then? Oh gosh. But I somewhat got the sense that they're kind of um, doing some sort of I guess feminist type or just trying to harbor some sort of feminist ideology in a sense, because like the rebel pilot had this awesome plan, and if it had worked, it would have been amazing. But then in the end, like you're told as an audience, like, nah, his plan was stupid. His plan was stupid because he's a guy. Yeah, it's side with the um let's side with the other plan from like the female characters or the female protagonists. Even though their plan was boring, just bide your time and just hope things turn out well in the end. I don't know. It was weird. Daniel Collard is asking what else is playing there. I believe A Quiet Place is playing, and I've been meaning to watch that as well. Let me do a quick movie phone check. Whoops. Movie phone. Ocean's 8, not interested. Tag might seem a little funny because I guess apparently it's based on um, loosely based on actual events or actual story. Rampage I might check out because I loved playing that game a long time ago. Deadpool 2, I already saw that one. Superfly, I haven't heard anything about it, so I'm not interested. And Avengers Infinity War 3D, and I already went and saw that one. So the ones I'm interested in seeing are Solo, Rampage, and Tag in that order. And let's see, I guess the chat's been going on a bit. Danny Collard says, sure, but if you were working nonstop, got to treat yourself, though. If you're always slacking off, yeah, just push your nose to the grindstone. Um, yeah, I just want to get these commissions done. Cal Larkin says, I don't believe people are burned out. It's all about the SJWs/feminists making Star Wars overly political. Yes, I agree. It was a very, uh, it was a very weird, awkward ride. And when it was all done, just analyzing it for its hidden meaning or messages, it just made it that much more awkward. Um, Danny Collard also says, with the casuals, it would be doing better. Even the casuals are just sick of too much Star Wars. Jimmy Popcorn's got this Star Wars fill for a few years. Yo, watch that instead. A Quiet Place is good, or at least I enjoyed it a lot. Yeah, I think I would have, but like it looks like it's not showing at this dollar theater anymore. I should have checked it out when I had the chance, but again, I want to focus on commissions and auctions and just making sure I had money in my bank accounts. But yeah, I missed the boat on that one. I'm gonna have to wait until it comes out on Netflix and then rent it then. But I heard a lot of good things from Brain Fart, A Quiet Place. I heard a lot of good things from Brain Fart. Have you seen that movie? Oh man, it's intense, real thought provoking. No. Hmm. Going back to the whole like Star Wars and movie discussion, I do believe like a lot of these movies, the movie universe is getting too much of an estrogen injection. It's like you alienate the original fan base by trying to appeal to another audience, and then by doing so, you don't even do it properly. Um, the whole Ghostbusters thing was just it, uh, it could have been okay. I would have been comfortable with seeing like an all female cast, and it was kind of cool how they incorporated like the original uh, cast in Easter egg fashion throughout the movie. They even had a bust or a sculpture of the actor who played Egon in the first movie. I can't remember his name right now. Uh, Something Ramus. Oh man, I can't remember. But the the movie overall, it just lacked what the first movie did, and like what the first movie was. It took on like the whole concept of Ghostbusters and ghost busting. Like, yeah, it was comedic, but it had some realism to it. It it had a sense of like uh, sense that it was semi based in reality, and that would be thanks to um, Dan Aykroyd, because I believe he is a paranormal enthusiast and who had actually gone through a lot of research in um, in parapsychological studies, and he based a lot of the script on like things that he had discovered. Whereas the new Ghostbusters, it just felt like it was it was catering to the wrong audience. It just felt too cartoony in a sense. And like the original Ghostbusters, it actually had some spooky moments that just terrified me as a kid, but it was fun. Just having that fun sense of fear or terror is just something that kept me coming back for more. But this new Ghostbusters, it was just it was just way too cartoony, and it just kind of like really dropped the ball on a lot of points. But if it had followed the formula of like the first one, and just in the sense that it tried to base more things or just be more reality or grounded more in reality and focus less on the making cartoony ghosts and wacky um, wacky characters. It just I don't know. It was just pretty ridiculous in my opinion. Dan Collard says the new Ghostbusters was just trying to cash in from easily impressed feminists that care more about seeing women than actually good movie. Yeah, I agree. Ghostbusters is dead forever now. Yes. Ah, it's sad. It's sad but true. Dan Collard also says, "Oh yeah, that reminds me. Did you know that they got Aykroyd's notes and they were so over the top detailed, and the writers had to parse and cut through it? So funny to me. Yeah, like Dan Aykroyd just like I believe he's even written some books on parapsychology and like the paranormal realm and such. And it's pretty interesting, like when someone's willing to put in that much effort to do study and research on a topic before even attempting to make a script. And yeah, I think the as far as the original Ghostbusters go, that was pretty cool. And there was a video. I can't remember where I saw it. I believe it was for the Ghostbusters video game. Uh, and prepping for its release, they refurbished Echo One from the original Ghostbusters, and they had Dan Aykroyd along, and like he in giving the audience a tour of Echo One, like he explained like certain parts of like the the mechanics and the machinery that were placed on Echo One, and like what each like device was utilized for, and what they did technically. And he just put a lot of thought and research in like every aspect of like the machinery and the technical things in that movie. And it's a shame that the second movie just put all of that stuff to the wayside and just didn't put as much uh, thought into it. And Cal Larkin says they are doing the same thing to the Terminator. Daniel Kellard says Terminator's been dead for years though. Daniel Kellard also says Aykroyd does not need people to rein him in though, or else you get nothing but trouble type movie. Yeah, that game was pretty much a sequel to the movies. Yeah, like that game, the Ghostbusters video game was just amazing, and I do believe it is like as many people say, the spiritual successor or the spiritual sequel or the spiritual third installment that was had always been in, I guess, pre-production purgatory. But I'm glad they finally made it, and it does seem like a very legit third installment to the Ghostbusters franchise. You pretty much pick up where the second movie leaves off. But yeah, I saw an announcement of them like a pre-production phase of the next Terminator movie, and again, they're just um, injecting it with giving it the estrogen injection, and I'm just pretty like worn out at this point about the whole thing. Is just like the whole you're forgetting your original fan base. You're saturating it with like this political message that you think is really deep and thought provoking, but really it isn't. It's just coming off as annoying now. I mean, if you're gonna make like a feminist movie which portrays strong female characters and wants to enforce like a powerful message for women or female empowerment, there's like proper ways to go about it. I mean, just start like from the ground up. Don't just rehash old ideas and like force fit this political ideological standpoint in there. It's like you're shoehorning it. Don't force it. You're gonna break it. Snap. Ah, it's broken. Way to go. This is why we can't have nice things. But I say this because I'm currently working on a fan made project, which I do believe would be like in the lines with like female empowerment. And I know that sounds pretty weird from a guy who has drawn really obscene and outlandish pornography, but you know what? Like, I think it'd be a fun project to work on. And I already released like the concept sketches, and I'm hoping to get back to that once I finish these current commissions and free up some time to just work on that. And it's something that I keep thinking about um, on and off as I go about my business, and just hashing out all the details and stuff. One thing I'm gonna need help with later on, once I start getting into some production, like in creating some promotional material, I'm gonna need some voice actresses, and I don't know where to find them. um, Hold on, just checking the chat. Uh, excuse me. Um, Cal Larkin says the SJW nightmare continues. Dan Collard says it's so blatant too. I don't get how anyone can fall for this. Make new movies with women trying to um, ape off an old, I guess rip off an old movie is so dumb. He also continues to say it wasn't that one recent horror movie like that, the one that started all women but didn't advertise it or act like it was a big deal in the movie. I I don't know which one you're talking about. I haven't been up to date with my movie watching experiences. Um, the movie didn't get traction because it wasn't yelling out that it was being progressive. It was just being a movie, and social justice junkies didn't care. Yeah, it's like I believe like movie studios nowadays are just focused too much on pandering, and I think you lose a lot of substance when you're just too focused on not pissing anyone off, and art suffers because of it. All right, the sketch work is pretty much done, so I'm gonna up the resolution to the final stage of the resolution. 360 degrees or 360 pixels per inch. Oh, Annihilation. Okay, I get what you're saying now. Like I haven't watched the movie yet. I just saw a few trailers, but it does appear to be interesting, so I'm gonna have to check it out. Darren Collard is commenting on this character's bulge. I'm gonna have to fix that as I go about the final detail work. Just adjust it a little bit. And the partial reason I like to work in a very low resolution when doing my sketch work is the fact that my lines are easier to control. In a higher resolution, like these lines are somewhat difficult to control because I'm working on a standard tablet and not like a Cintiq or anything. So there is some guesswork that goes along with just drawing with a regular tablet because you're drawing on one plane, but visually you're looking at the monitor, so you're not looking at the surface that you're drawing on. So therein lies the bit of guesswork as you're going in with the final lines. But when I had a Cintiq and just drawing straight on the display, just being able to draw straight on the display, there was a lot less guesswork, and my final lines would come out very smooth and precise and be laying down precisely where I intended them to um, be put. Am I a Wacom purist? Um, I for right now, I guess I would have to say I was, because I do understand that there are some other drawing tablets out there for artists, and some other artists have done reviews on them. But one of the details, one of the slight drawbacks are the colors. Um, in some of these other cheaper tablets, like they'll still operate pretty well. Like the drawing capabilities and everything will still be there, but the color is an issue. Like the colors won't be true. And for me right now, since I'm drawing, or my main computer is a laptop, and my laptop's monitor is very washed out. And I've tried to color with this my laptop's monitor, but the end result when viewing it with a monitor that has true color and has been properly calibrated, the attempted colorings that I did with the laptop were very dark and heavily saturated, and it was not the color scheme that I was aiming for in the least. So in order to avoid this, I guess I'll have to use a Wacom Cintiq just because the calibration and the colors are true. And so yeah, I'm gonna have to save up to get one of those. But thankfully, the price for a just a small 13-inch HD has gone down over the years as I look on Amazon. Cal Larkin says some brands have decent colors. A lot of brands are catching up. Although I do have a 22 HD Cintiq. I might have to look into that again just before I decide to make a purchase. So I'll keep that in mind. When I get the money to buy a new Cintiq tablets, I'm going to go ahead and do like a quick search on other artist reviews on other tablets and see what they say. If there are any like up-to-date competitive brands that are just as good as Cintiq and cheaper, I'll go ahead and give that a shot. But I'll just hold off on that until I have the appropriate funds to do so. Oh, what am I doing? Ah, stupid, 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 stupid. I'll just save all that work for. I put it in another layer. I just realized I was drawing her clothes when I'm supposed to be doing that um, much later after I get the base model down. Because as you can see in this previous one, I have like the base model on like a different set of layers, and then I have the outfit or the costume on another set of layers altogether. So yeah. So it's not a total loss. I'm just gonna have to readjust. Uh-oh. There we go. Just save those lines for when I actually get there. So it wasn't that bad. Just just mindlessly drawing the lines right here without even paying attention to what phase I am currently on. Oh man. Getting a little restless. It's like this is pretty much what I do all day is just sit here and draw. Oftentimes I'll just crank out some push-ups or perhaps do some squats just to keep the blood flowing. I guess I'll do bust out a set of push-ups or something. All right, I'm gonna bust out some push-ups. Be right back. Whew, there we go. Out of breath. Slightly. Who am I to disagree? Gah, I am out of shape. So out of breath from one set of push-ups. How many push-ups were in your set, Blackhorse? One. No, I did 40. Everybody's looking for something. What am I listening to? Best death step, which is hard dubstep. That's enough out of you, Johnston Blackhorse. You're no longer allowed to beatbox or attempt to beatbox on this particular stream. Cease and desist this very instant. Okay. As you wish. Man, someone's banging around upstairs. Oh, wait, yeah. I'm not allowed to beatbox. I forgot. I'm sorry. I think we can go ahead and merge this one. Oh man. I think I need to grab some water. I'll be back in a few. And I'm back. Cal Larkin says, LOL, we all can't be beatboxers. Yeah, this is true. One of my lifelong goals was to become an epic beatboxer one day. But alas, it'll never come to pass. Burp. Excuse me. Geez, getting restless again. I might have to bust out some more push-ups or friggin' take a nap. I can't wait to be able to afford another Cintiq. Um, I believe like this whole drawing process would be really streamlined because it would take a lot of the guesswork out of laying down these lines. That way I can just put down lines in a straightforward, consistent manner without doing the whole stop and go type of line work that I'm doing. I believe I have to bring this over just so I can have this to reference. There we go.
You shall know my cruelty. Ancient spirits of evil, transform this decayed form into Mumra!
Mumra, the ever-living. Damn that accursed lion, though. And that annoying snuff. Always snuffing around. One of these days, I'm gonna get those Thundercats and possess the Sword of Omens. That way I can have sight beyond sight. Because being an old mommy, my eyesight's not all that good. Thundercats 2011 was great. Yeah, I got to see a little bit of it, and I haven't given myself much opportunity to check it out. But uh, yeah, I got to check it out. But I hear it got canceled due to budgeting issues, from what I hear on other YouTube review sites or videos. And now we have the travesty, which is Thundercats Roar, to look forward to. Oh my god. It's freaking awful. I mean, what are they doing to this beloved series? this beloved franchise from years ago. They're ruining it. They're tarnishing my memory of this cartoon, which I enjoyed when I was a young boy. Little man. Little man, when I was your age, we enjoyed this little cartoon called Thundercats. Yeah, I am not a fan of the um this this new Thundercats that is going to be coming out. Hmm. I'm going to have to retool this sketch. Well, the front view anyway. Yeah, I saw some of the studio made reviews, or like the um, behind behind the scenes visualization of Thundercats Roar, and it's just so laughable to like see the people in charge and how they all think that it's a good idea, and it's just not, and they're just so, they all just look so clueless, especially like the lead guy. I mean, what's up with his hair too? I mean, he, he just gives off this impression that he feels like he's so with it. He's so relevant, even with his kooky hairstyle, and just thinking that what he's doing is a good idea and everyone's going to love it. And saying that this is the Thundercats that he wanted to see as a kid, and he's like, "Oh wow, you should have just kept that to yourself. No, you're ruining it for everybody else. Stop ruining things. Cut it out. Don't do that. Just leave it be. You stop. You're killing it." Oh no. Anyway, I've gotta retool this little portion here because it doesn't fit with the rest of the thing. Um, okay, hold on. Cal Larkin. He said he was going to do his best to draw smut off of the new Thundercats Roar, but no luck in doing so. Oh, yeah. Like, I don't see how even drawing it in a Rule 34 fashion would make it appealing. Not even Rule 34 could save it. I'm pretty sure there are other artists who have tried. I wish I could check it out. I wish I could take a crack at it too. Hmm. Feel that that's still slightly off. Maybe it's this curvature here. Let's smudge it into place. Yeah, I think that's as good as it's gonna get. Kyle Larkin says, "Got to go home. See you next time." All right, cool. See you. Hope you had fun. And we have just passed the 2 hour mark. I wonder if I should just do these in 2 hour segments or what. I don't know. Maybe I'll keep going. Just for because. Just for because I can. I wonder if if I start doing these live streams as kind of like treating it like a job. I wonder how that would be received. You know, like once I start doing more digital artwork and start working on digital animations and just show my whole process from beginning to end. Oh no, but there would be spoilers. Well, I guess I could try it out just for these remaining commissions, and then I'll start working on my other projects when I get the chance to do so, and then when they're pretty well on their way to being released or after they've been released, I can go ahead and start doing that on a regular basis. That sounds good. Yay. Merge down, merge down. There we go. Okay, back on this layer now. Whoops. Ugh, dang it. Oh, man. Ugh. Stretch. Ugh, gotta stretch. Ugh. Twist around. Get the blood flowing. Whoa. I should just throw that cup away. But I'm too busy. Hmm. You know what? I went ahead and had myself some breakfast, but I haven't bothered to have lunch yet. Guess I could make myself a sandwich for lunch. Boom, 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 boom. Oh yeah, no beatboxing. You are forbidden from beatboxing. Oh. Oh man, getting restless again. Ugh. Just sitting still for too long. Oh man. Stretch. Yawn. Ugh. Ugh. Okay. And let's see, where's the hand? There it is. No layer. Let's decrease the opacity on this one. And I guess, yeah, there we go. There we go. Oh, hey. Is the clavicle here? There it is. Yeah. Right about there. Okay. Gosh, I'm getting so tired right now. Maybe I do need a nap. No, gotta push through. Try to get this commission as close to completion as possible. Hold on, I gotta crank out some push-ups and get some water. Just so restless due to lack of movement. do a few stretches, push-ups. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, now for some water. And I'm back. Slightly out of breath due to the push-ups. Whew. Did another set of 40 for those who are interested. 40s. No! No drinking. No drinking and streaming, Blackhorse. You tend to get a little nonsensical with you and your nonsense. Your drunk nonsense. Okay. Where's this hand? Whew. Excuse me. Had to burp there. Oh, here comes another one. Pardonnez-moi. Is this lining up? I think it's funny how precise I'm attempting to be, yet I have no idea how precise the 3D modeler is going to be. If he's going to take all my details to just bring out all of my details, or just kind of go over it rudimentary, yeah, this goes here, that goes around there, and just general positions here and there, and just be done with it. So it's do I really need to be so detail oriented? I don't know. I just don't know. But these are my last Patreon commissions, so I guess I should give it my maximum effort. Maximum effort. Is a Deadpool reference. But should I really be referencing Deadpool since I'm not actually part of the fandom? All I did was watch the movies. I enjoyed them. I like the movies a lot, but I don't think I could really call myself a fan of Deadpool, because I know shit all about him. Wait, I don't think I said that right. I hardly know shit about him. So, yeah. I don't know. I'm just rambling. Just rambling just to ramble. There we go. That forearm is complete. go ahead and knock down the resolution to some of these. I should, man, I haven't been naming these. Front view sketch, side view sketch, side view arm sketch, and front hair sketch, front clothes sketch, side hair sketch. Guess I can delete these reference layers. Side clothes sketch, side sleeve sketch. What is this layer? This layer appears to be nothing. It's a superfluous blank layer. Okay. That is our front outline. Front. Wait, what did I call it here? Front body outline. And this is side body outline and side arm outline. Sweet, everything is more or less layered. Whoops. Okay. New layer, and I guess we'll start with the clothes. Okay, I feel better after a few stretches and those few push-ups. Oh, don't need to go that far over the line because I am going to mirror this. Hiccup. Oh, wait a minute. Is it this line? Oh, I must have deleted it. I remember I had some lines that were already set aside associated with these clothes, but I guess I deleted them. Did I? Yes. Yes, I did. I don't know when, but no, what's done is done. And we move on. You know what? I think I want to listen to some creepy stories. Every now and then, besides music, I'll listen to some creepy. Oh, wait. Let me put on some creepy music. And depending on how this goes with the creepy music, maybe I'll just decide to just go ahead and play some creepy stories. Because me being a spiritualist and all, from with a Native American background and heritage, I am a fan of the paranormal and have many experiences in dealing with such. And I just like to hear just a bunch of like creepy stories pertaining to that. Why is it so quiet? Because it's creepy. Shh. Oh, spooky music. Spooky music is spooky. And my cultural heritage and backgrounds, like we do believe in spirituality and just like a lot of uh, paranormal stuff, and some of the spirituality even borders on like heavy superstition. And one of those things, just like a lot of the beliefs and like practices, just revolve on the whole like spiritual connection of like everything. And the a recent surge in interest goes to one of the um, or is associated with the belief of the skinwalkers. And as a full-blood Navajo, I'm not really even supposed to discuss or talk about them because the part of the superstition in talking about them is that it draws their attention. So it's like they know when you're talking about them, and that just invites them into your world, um, into your place. It just it calls them to you when you start discussing the topic of skinwalkers. So it's like just something that is just not really discussed out of like close knit family circles. But I have a lot of family members who have like their own personal stories of skinwalkers and just creepy stories that just have little to no like explanation that can be grounded in the reality as we, I guess, as we know it, as we perceive reality. Oh shoot! Ah, man, my program locked up. Okay. Shit. There we go. I don't think I'm drawing these frills in the proper angle. Ah, nuts. Yeah, but yeah, my family has a lot of stories about skinwalkers, and I have my own personal stories of spectral encounters in which I believe I've seen um, ghosts or shadow people. Shadow people, not that much, but like just the um, spectral entities. You know, like clearly the logical explanation for it is just like a lack of sleep or just sleep deprivation because I tend to see things when I miss a lot of sleep. And I've talked about this before on previous videos. I guess I'll just go ahead and talk about it again now, seeing as I don't have much to say as I'm just drawing this commission. But one of the times I've experienced a supposed or an alleged ghost is on a road trip to my um, grandmother's house on the reservation. And since uh, my grandmother's place is where we raise sheep, we just call it the sheep camp. So it was me, my mom, my stepdad, and my siblings in the back. Um, my stepdad was in the passenger seat, and my mom and my siblings were just in the back seat, and everyone was just talking. And I think some of my siblings may have just went ahead and passed out. And we were driving from southeastern Utah. Where we resided was, I believe, where were we living at the time? We were either living in Blanding or Aneth. I believe it was Blanding though. So from Blanding all the way to Kayenta, Arizona is where um, the sheep camp is located near. It's not located in Kayenta, Arizona. It's located just outside the city limits, like maybe a 30-minute drive or 30 minutes to an hour. I don't quite remember, but it's not too far. But the drive from Blanding to around Kayenta would be around I think it was around about 4 hours, like a 4 hour drive. And we had gotten a pretty late start. The sun hadn't quite gone down, but we were set to go. And I agreed to drive most of the way because I had. This was around the time where I had just gotten my license and just I was pretty used to driving a lot and just driving my parents around every now and then, even though they could drive. But I just would opt to drive, just because I wanted to, and having your driver's license and having that other sense of liberty and like another, I guess, step toward adulthood and being able to drive yourself and other people around is just like a felt like a pretty sizable privilege at that point. So it was just me driving for the length of that um, for that trip, for the major duration of that trip. And when we got into Arizona state, past the Arizona state line, I had already been driving for several hours at that point, and the sun had gone down, and I was getting pretty tired, but my parents were just like talking, gabbing on back and forth, just talking about whatever. And I didn't want to let on that I was like feeling tired because, like, yeah, I did feel slightly tired, but I wasn't at the point where I was falling asleep at the wheel. But I would be sure to like let them know if I was at risk of doing such and just like let one of them take over. But no, at this point, I figured I was good and I did feel a little sleepy. So, but we were so close to the sheep camp that I figured that I could just drive the rest of the way. And as I continued driving, we were driving around these bluffs just outside Kayenta, Arizona. And these bluffs are called Baby Rock because some of the rock formations form what could be um, viewed as like a baby or some sort of some sort. And like I've tried to view it, but like I never really um, was able to see it. But anyway, that aside, like coming around this bluff, there was a big turn in the highway, and it was pretty dark, and like there was oncoming traffic, headlights, and everything. But as I'm coming around this big turn, all of a sudden, like my eyes catch sight of something in my periphery, and my instincts just tighten my muscles up because I get this notion that I'll have to act to avoid a certain type of danger. And as I turned my attention fully toward what I had caught in my periphery, I was stunned to see what I was seeing because what I saw was pretty much impossible. And what that was is that I saw like a pair of legs just running from the side of the highway toward the middle of the freeway. And I was pretty perplexed. And at that point, my instinctual reaction is, to swerve out of the way to like avoid this partial figure in order not to hit it. But if I were to have swerved, I would have swerved right into oncoming traffic just to avoid it. But I kept my speed. I kept a firm grip on the steering wheel. And yeah, believe me, I was kind of gripping the steering wheel pretty tight. And I was just staring at this, like these legs, these these little legs, just like running across the highway. And the legs, from the size of them, they were the size of like a young boy's legs, about the age of maybe I'd have to say around like 6 to 8 years old. And they were pretty short legs in stature, but when it when the legs went up to the waist, that's where the figure ended, and that was just it. And I could remember the vague details of the this partial figure, and the this partial figure, the legs were wearing these little sneakers, like knee-length socks, and like these little like athletic shorts, and above that, just nothing was there. And as my mind strained at the impossibility of what I was seeing, like my instinctual reaction was still to try to swerve out of the way. But at the same time, logically thinking is like, I can't be seeing what I'm seeing at this moment. So I just went ahead. I didn't bother slowing down. I didn't hit the brakes. I didn't swerve because doing any of these actions would have caused injury to me, my family, or the oncoming driver. So I stayed the course and just didn't bother to like move in any fashion because there was like no way the figure I was seeing was real. And sure enough, I drove right through it. So if that figure were a real individual, I would have driven right over them. But there was nothing there. As I drove past or through this figure, like no sound was made. I didn't hit like an obstacle of any sort. It was just smooth sailing, and then I just brushed what I saw off as like a form of sleep deprivation or like a side effect to sleep deprivation. And I just didn't bother to say anything because like my parents were there and I didn't want to freak them out. And like my stepdad was sitting in the passenger seat and he didn't see anything. So I just brushed it off as nothing. But later on that same drive, it's the last leg of the trip, and we're driving down the dirt road that leads to the sheep camp. And again, my parents were just talking about this and that and the other. And as I'm driving down this dirt road, again, I see a set of legs just emerge from the darkness. My periphery was able to catch onto it. And then I look, and clear as day, it's another set of legs just scampering onto the dirt road on which I'm driving. But this time, the set of legs belonged to a cat. And again, these cat legs, like I could see the white mittens, the white pattern on the paws, and they would disappear into like the black fur that made up the rest of the cat's legs. But above the legs, nothing existed. It was just a pair or a set of cat legs that scampered onto the dirt road. And again, I stayed my course and didn't swerve, didn't have any reaction, and just drove right over it. Pretty weird, huh? And I've had like various instances in which this sleep deprivation has either made me hallucinate or has made me like a could possibly arguably have let me draw or drop my senses in a way, in a manner of speaking, and has allowed me to, I guess, perhaps get a small peek beyond this veil of reality, and perhaps I was able to perceive like another, like either spiritual entity or just a residual class or type of haunting in a sense. And I remember this happened again, like one time when I was living in this house, and I had woken up late into the night and needed to use the restroom. And this was a two-story house, and I was living on the top floor in one of the bedrooms on the second floor. And as I came out of my room, like there's a set of stairs right outside my door that when you open the door, you can see the set of stairs that go down. And when I opened my door and like peered into the darkness of the night in the dark hallway and the set of stairs, I saw one of my roommates or who I thought to be one of my roommates, ascending the staircase, like toward me. And then I uttered out, well, he was so clear to me that I thought like it was him. So I uttered out, "Oh hey, like what's up? Like didn't know you were up. I'm just gonna head off to the restroom." And just as I finished saying this, the figure had reached the top of the stairs and just wasn't there. I mean, it was a trippy thing to see. Is like at first I see this dark figure ascending the staircase. He looks like one of my roommates, and he seemed so tangible to the point where I actually addressed it. And then as it reached the top of the stairs, it was gone, faded away. So again, that could just be chalked up to a sleep deprived, sleep deprived hallucination. But it could very well be that could be something else, because I do have a theory as to like how people are able to perceive um, other entities and such. And that theory is that we're all born with this ability. And I believe that's why young people or children are able to see uh, ghosts or interdimensional specters or spirits, and they're able to interact with them on a very rudimentary basis, that they are able to, just like they appear to be staring off into distance or just interacting with something that isn't there. But perhaps what I theorize is that we're all born with the ability to see all forms of energy, like all wavelengths and all types of entities that come in and out of this in come in and out of this intangible realm that's around us. But as we grow up, like our mind begins to adapt and just sort out things that are superfluous to our survival. So, like our brain begins to tune out what isn't important to us in order to survive in our reality-based environment. So it begins to just like focus in more on things that are tangible, things that are presently uh, physical to us, so we can reach out and grab it, or we can reach out and smell it, or eat it, or whatever, what have you. And these other wavelengths that our minds are capable of viewing, the brain just filters it out because they're unnecessary for our day-to-day lives in order to just live and to coexist with other uh, physical entities in this realm of existence. And I also believe that people are able to retap into this ability to see like these particular wavelengths, either through fatigue or a mind altering substance such as drugs or alcohol, or even through a traumatic event. The brain will drop its filters and begin like giving you access to all these other wavelengths that you had forgotten all about since childhood. So when people trip on like things on like such as illicit substances or alcohol, or just become sleep deprived, perhaps like the in imbibing some of these drugs or alcohol, or just again sleep deprivation, the brain drops its filters and you're able to perceive this other realm of reality. Well, not reality in the sense that you can physically touch it, but it drops the veil of reality and you can perceive this other plane of existence. And like I said, even in traumatic events, like some people have uh, reported or claimed to be able to see or hear ghosts or like other entities or things. And a lot of the time, like present science and present scientific minds will just brush it off as hallucinations due to a traumatic event. But um, with the theory I have, like, like it's possible that through this traumatic events or circumstances, the brain has all of a sudden like dropped its filters and just kind of forgets how to refilter or filter out these extra senses, so to speak. So yeah, one of my that's one of my wacko theories. But I don't know if anyone wants to comment on that later on, or just I don't know, just chew on that for a while and see if you can relate. Perhaps there are people out there who have um, seen, possibly seen ghosts or spirits or entities, and perhaps you can associate some of what I said, or just take my theory and just see if it applies to you or maybe someone that you know of. But yeah, it's what I think. It's what I imagine. Whoops. I can't quite see the. There we go. I think we can go ahead and merge that. Yeah, that's coming along pretty nicely. I'm almost done. Like I just got to do the side views and then slap on some color, throw on that this grid, and this one will be finished. And then how many more of these do I have? I have 3 more after this. Oh wow. The costumes on some of these characters just look very intricate. Oh, uh, that's gonna be troublesome. Side, front, clothes, front hair, side arm, sketch. Don't need that. Okay, let's do the clothes first. Oh, I better name these so I don't friggin' uh, front clothes outline. Front hair outline. Yeah, here we go. Where's that side arm? Drop the opacity on that. Oh, talking about alcohol altering my perception. Um, I would get drunk a lot, but like not to the point where I visually see things. And when that happened, it would be a very rare occasion. And one time that happened, it took place in this apartment. And that's why I believe this apartment is partially haunted by like a residential entity and a bunch of fairies. And I don't want to speak ill of them. Like you don't want to speak ill of fairies because they'll get you. But anyway, one night after a bunch of drinking, I got up to grab myself a glass of water, just to rehydrate. And as I'm walking to the kitchen to get a cup, I'm in the living room, and all of a sudden I see this orb just like fluttering right in front of me, and there's no way I can really explain how that could have happened. Like there was no extra light coming in from the outside because the blinds were drawn, and there was no light like at the moment because like I was walking in darkness, and I have to walk across to or I have to walk across the hallway in order to like not hallway, the living room, in order to reach the light switch for the kitchen. And as I'm heading that way, that's when I see this this fluttering orb of light. And I'm looking at it and it's like, I can't be seeing what I'm seeing right now. This is freaking nuts. And like, I thought it might be like just something up with one of my eyes, my eyeballs or something. Like maybe I'm seeing a glare, but as I'm like observing it, like I'm observing it in the 3D space, like right in front of me, like it's hovering there right in front of me. And just to make sure that it's like, I don't know, I just kind of like, as I'm walking, I just kind of like twist to my side and just attempt to walk around this thing. And it's just like hovering there in 3D space, just like right before me. And so I rub my eyes to make sure like my eyes aren't like in a sense playing tricks on me, or maybe I got something in my eye somehow and it's like catching some sort of reflective light, but there's no light coming from anywhere. And when I open my eyes again, the thing is gone. It's just it's not there anymore. And what's interesting about that story is that my girlfriend at the time, um, who was living with me, had also like exclaimed to me that she had seen like something fluttering over me. And when she had seen it, she like had said it appeared to be like a luminescent moth or a butterfly. And she saw it like this was during one of our verbal disagreements, and we would argue a lot, and I'm just glad I don't have to argue anymore. Oh my god. I mean that woman could argue, and like it didn't matter what you said. Like it didn't matter what I said, I would always be in the wrong, even for things I thought were just so minute. Like I didn't know. I had to walk around. I had to walk on eggshells around her. Oh hey, Cal Larkin is back. Hey Cal Larkin, I'm just talking about supernatural stuff. But anyway, going along with the story, it was like walking on eggshells with her. I didn't know what I would do or what I would say that would like set her off or trigger her. But then before I knew it, we'd end up in an argument, and I could never win an argument. It was just something that she would not allow, and like even if I made good counterpoints or whatever the heck, like she would bring up like old arguments or things that I had said before and just really twist it and manipulate it and just use it against me. So I'm just glad I don't have to argue with her anymore. But anyway, uh, that's not even the focal point of the story. But anyway, as we were arguing, like I had just threw my head back into feet, closed my eyes, and just rested my head on the chair uh, um, headrest that I was sitting in. And as I was resting with my eyes closed, she exclaimed, like, "Oh my God, did you see that?" And I said, like, "See what?" And I opened my eyes and I looked at her, and she was just like, had this look of astonishment on my face, or had this look of astonishment on her face. And she said, something had just fluttered by my head. And I told her, like, "No, I didn't see it." And then it just made her more upset at that point, just because, like, we knew that there was some sort of weird paranormal events going on in this apartment. And I had never doubted her in the least. And it's just a mutual belief that we both shared. But the fact that I had missed out on a shared paranormal experience just kind of aggravated her. And but what she had claimed to see was like I said, a luminescent moth or a luminescent butterfly just fluttering past my head. And she was just so disappointed that I didn't see it. But again, like I was too busy throwing my head back into feet, closing my eyes, and just wishing that like the argument that we were in was just over. But yeah, I believe that that luminescent entity is what I saw on that particular night when I got up to go get a drink of water from the kitchen. And yeah, like I said, it was how I perceived it was this fluttering luminescent orb just right in front of me, just kind of more or less hovering and fluttering there. And it was I guess that's the best way I can explain it, is that it was fluttering because yeah, it was an orb, but it had this very jittery movement to it. And it was pretty tripped out to see. And again, like when I rubbed my eyes to make sure like nothing was in my eyes or whatever, it just vanished. I blinked a few more times, like maybe like if there was something in my eyes, it could create the same effect. But no, there was nothing there. And I just went about my business, got my drink of water, and went back to bed. And something else my um, ex had seen is that the appearance of I don't know what you would call it, either the appearance of my doppelganger or like a fraction or a fracture in time. And she had experienced this event, from what I recall, two times. The first time she saw it, like we were going about cleaning the apartment, just straightening up a bit, and I walked out of the living room. And the way our apartment is set up, I guess if I can just draw a little diagram here. Um, okay, that's the kitchen. And here would be the bedroom. And let's see. Oh wait, I guess the kitchen is bigger than this. For some reason, the walk-in closet isn't that big. I guess to accommodate the other apartments adjacent to this. So I believe that's the rough size of it. let's see. This is just a like a rough layout of my apartment, and got the door here, and got another door here, and this is the bathroom. So bath, closet, B room, kitchen, living room. Okay, so here's the layout. Um, we were cleaning up the apartment. She was, we were both here in the living room, and I had walked into the this little hallway area or walkway area or wherever, and I went to the closet, and I don't think that's how the door opens. Let me check real quick. Yeah, I knew it. The door opens this way. So I had walked to the closet, opened the door, and I threw something in there. And my ex, our girlfriend at the time, she walked in. She was like right behind me, just by a few steps. And I came in here. I threw something in the closet, and then I proceeded to walk this way. And from her point of perspective, what she saw is that I opened the closet, walked in, and closed the door without turning on the light. And the light switch for the closet is located right here. That's the light switch for the closet here on this wall. So what she had seen is that I walked into the closet door and closed the closet. And as she came in, I was already over here, and she called out to me, like asking what I was doing, and I said what, and she was standing in front of the closet when she was asking me, because from what she'd seen, I had walked into the closet, but I was over here doing something else, and when I answered to her, like she looked over at me, she's like, "What the fuck?" And what's wrong? And she told me what she had just seen. And I told her like that was funny because I was thinking about walking into the closet to retrieve something. I don't remember what that is, but I remember my specific mindset as to going into the closet to grab something, and but I didn't. I decided against it, and instead I walked into the bedroom. But from what she saw, and she either saw a doppelganger or a time fracture. So, in the reality that she had witnessed visually, I had walked into the closet, which was a somewhat of like a partial decision I was about to make, but then decided against it. Oh, someone else joined the chat. The Real Anime Gamer says, "Yo, what's up? How's it going?" And the second time she witnessed this anomaly, we were both working. Oh, I, I erased the thing, but let's just say that this is the bedroom, and again, this is the way to um, the, the closet and the restroom, and here is the door to area. Here's the door to the closet, and here's the door to the restroom. And at this time, she had her workstation set up right here, and I had my workstation over here, and our bed was right here. So she's here working away, just designing or drawing or doing Facebook stuff. I can't remember what it was. And here I am. I'm working on my computer, just designing, animating, doing commissions, what have you. And we're just sitting there in silence. just working on our own stuff. And then I let out a little sigh, or like just a groan or something. And then she whips around and she says, like I thought I just saw you head toward the bathroom. And I asked her like what she was talking about, and she said she through the corner of her eye, through her peripheral, she said that she had seen me physically stand up and walk toward the bathroom, but she was surprised that I was still sitting at my desk as I was working away at either a project or a commission. And I told her like, "Oh, that's weird because just a moment ago I was thinking about going to the bathroom." And I guess that's just another instance of her like witnessing one of these, either a doppelganger or a time fracture. And in each of these events, she had witnessed a decision that I did not make. So I don't know if it's something to do with her like perception of reality, or if it's something to do with this apartment. Time is starting to come apart at the seams. Cal Larkin says, "Geez, how can you work like that? No privacy." Well, we were both drawing furry porn, so it's not like we really needed all that much privacy. Oh man, I'm getting restless again. Yeah, I've been sitting here for a while. I'm gonna stand up, do some stretches, push-ups, and do I need any more water? No, I'm good on water. Oh man. Stretch to the right, stretch to the left. Reach to the ground. Do a little squat. Oh, my phone. And bust out some push-ups. And I'm big. Yeah, I'm trying to be more active since being an artist, you don't really get a chance to move around too much. So, trying to get back into the habit of doing push-ups throughout the day. And whenever I need to take a break, I'll just go out for a walk. Which is something I would do at some of the um, offices I worked at. I would get into the habit of doing push-ups like either every hour on the hour or just every 30 minutes. And when I would get restless or just a little tired, I'd go ahead and just go for a walk. Like either around the building or just like half a block's length. And I do recommend that if you have an office job or you have a form of employment that you're just sitting in front of a computer or at an office desk for the major portion of the day, it's like you got to get around and move around a bit, because if you don't, you put yourself at risk of developing blood clots in your legs, and that could be very detrimental to your health, because it's like my mom in the past had gotten blood clots in her legs, and what she did, she painted pottery, like a Native American pottery, and she would just sit at her table for hours on end. And at this time, we didn't know that you could develop blood clots that way. And for doing that long enough, she eventually did develop a blood clot, I believe, in her left leg, and had to have surgery in order to get it removed. So it's pretty scary how like something that could be severely detrimental to your health could be brought about by just simple inaction. So if you find yourself just like sitting around for long durations of time, like I do recommend that you get out and move around a bit. Get down, bust out some push-ups, or just take a walk around your office building or just around the block. Cal Larkin says blood clots are no job. I assume you meant blood clots are no joke. Yeah, he corrected himself. Yeah, if you get a blood clot that could easily like travel to your brain, causing a stroke, or if it gets to your heart, you could suffer cardiac arrest, because interrupting the blood flow to either of those will have severe consequences. Cal Larkin says family friend got clots in her leg after serious surgery. Oh yeah, I guess surgery might cause that too. Like after a major surgery, you usually just kind of like laid up in traction or whatever, just like prescribed a lot of bed rest and such. But I guess in that sense, it would be hard to just get up and move around. But I think just do your best to stay as active as possible within reason when you're in a situation like that. Cal Larkin says she usually took took blood thinners, but they took her off because of the risk. Ah. Let's see. Side clothes outline. Now let's do that side sleeve. Doop a doop a doop a doop a doop a doop a doop. So yeah, for the sake of my health and whatever, like I'll get up and move around a bit, do some stretches, do some push-ups, and whenever I take a break, I'll go for a walk around the block or the couple blocks that I've laid out for myself to do laps around, which I looked it up at on Google on Google Maps. It's about a mile and a half, about a mile and a half walk. But yeah, like another reason I've opted to do these random exercises is because, well, I guess it's not another reason, but like going along the same reason, I'm afraid of developing blood clots myself because I do find myself spending hours at a time just sitting in one position, just drawing all day, and then sometimes I'll get these weird pangs in my legs or my thighs, and just like start thinking like, oh no, I'm getting a blood clot, and so like I'll either switch positions or switch the location in which I'm drawing. But for the most part, like I just opted to just start being more active and walking around and doing like exercises such as squats and push-ups and uh, a few uh, leg kicks or knee raises at times too. I guess depending on what I'm in the mood for. Cal Locken says he goes to the gym 1 hour a day. Yeah, I should do that too. Like, not even pay for a gym membership, just walk to the gym, look at it, contemplate on getting a membership, decide against it, and then walk home. That's my workout for the day. Just walk to the gym every day, thinking about getting a membership, going as far as getting the gym tour, like getting shown all the gym equipment, seeing what this does, seeing what that does, getting a preview of all the classes, decide against getting a membership, walk all the way home, but then do it all again the next day. Man, it's a pretty intense workout. Where's the side body outline? Oh, it's the side clothes. There we go. Just to make sure it all lines up. When I start dumping some color in there. which looks like I'll be able to do here pretty soon. Oh, my butt's getting restless. Let me pop out a few squats. Six, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 ought to do. Got to keep the blood flowing. That, and I got to lose some weight. I feel so out of shape right now. Being in prison just like gave me, I guess, a lot of time of not eating good food, that I lost a lot of weight. I got down to 170. Now, before going to prison, or before even my court case began, I was pushing 280. So I was near 300 pounds. That's freaking crazy. But then when my whole life started to fall apart, like really started to, well, there's really not much to do but just exercise. So, interesting fact is that I lost my first, I think it was 45 pounds just by playing Wii Dance, or Just Dance on the Nintendo Wii. I was getting 5 stars in pretty much all the songs. And then I had to sell my console just to make ends meet. But while in prison, like I started exercising my brain a lot in studying like court cases and legal terms, and just writing a whole bunch of these political driven letters. And that took up a lot of brain energy, and I had no idea how much just I guess exercising your brain could, how much energy that could burn. And to, I guess, illustrate that point, one of the biggest letters I wrote was a 27, 26, or 28 page letter. And I think I had gone through, man, just almost about the same number of drafts. I think I got to like maybe 14 or 15 drafts, maybe 18 drafts. I didn't keep all the drafts, but I went through a lot of drafts, just writing and rewriting. And I would just sit up in my bunk and just write pretty much all day. I was like a freaking letter writing machine. And so again, to illustrate like how many calories I was burning just by writing a letter and using like my brain power, I had gone through 5 packs of cookies within 5 days, and I was still losing weight. And why that is that the brain requires glucose, it requires sugar in order to function properly. And so I was ingesting like all these cookies and such, just keeping my brain active and just like writing these letters. And after a whole week of just eating cookies, like I was still losing weight. It was crazy. But nowadays I'm not as active as of writing letters. I hope to start getting all like political again once I start making these YouTube animated videos I'm talking about. Maybe my brain power will kick in then. But like an interesting fact too is that while I was in prison, and like when I didn't have any cookies or like anything like a sugary sweet to snack on for like maybe a week or so, my linguistic capabilities and my uh, my ability to converse at a somewhat intelligent level would just dissipate. Like I couldn't form thoughts. I couldn't like find words that allowed me to convey the precise thoughts I was trying to utilize. And it wasn't until I could get another pack of cookies and just devour that where I could actually function at at an optimal level. But now that I'm out of prison, like I've just been like, after I first got out, I was just binging on a bunch of like all the foods that I missed. And with my sister here, like we would just eat out constantly and just go to all these restaurants that she's been wanting to show me, or just like eating sushi or just whatever. Just enjoying our like our time we had together, and um, I we both gained quite a bit of weight just by doing that. So I gotta cut back on uh, all this good food and such, because the lowest I ever weighed, well, was when I was in prison. I was 170 pounds. So I had lost over 100 pounds while incarcerated. But after getting out, I put on, let's see, 50 pounds. And right now I'm just slowly starting to lose that again. But in order to assist that, I gotta become more active. Gotta do it for my health too. Stupid health. Why do you need maintenance? Why can't you just stay at an optimal level with no effort whatsoever? Gall. What does this hair look like? Okay. Okay. I wonder if the hair really needs to be that specific. I don't know. I'll just bring this across. Yeah. Ah, nuts. Drawing in the wrong layer again. Hiccup. Hmm. Actually, ah, think perspective wise, this might be farther over here. then again, I don't know how close the 3D artist is going to follow. These references. Oh man. I think streaming these videos is good for my productivity, because I haven't really slacked off all that much since starting this stream. It's like usually when I just do this, like without any eyes watching me, like I'll take a bunch of breaks and just like randomly cruise YouTube for funny videos and just, I don't know, spend a lot of time looking through Netflix or Hulu to find something to play as background noise. But I find when I stream, I'll just put on some steady ambient music and just draw straight on through. So maybe I should just make this a regular practice of mine. More or less turn this into my day job. Might not be pretty or very entertaining for those watching, but it'll keep me productive. But of course, I can't do it for every project, because the fan-made project I'm going to be working on, I want it to be somewhat secret. But once I release it, I think I'll be able to work on it um, on a stream. Oh man, I'm getting tired again. Oh, you know what? I haven't had lunch. It took me a while to get some breakfast, and now I'm just missing out on lunch. Maybe I'll take another break here pretty soon, but I'm so close to finishing. Like, all I gotta do is just a few more lines and then throw down some flat colors, and then I'm done. Uh, what to do? What to do? Cal Larkin says, I'm missing out on sleep. Stayed up too late yesterday. Speaking of sleep, I'm feeling just kind of groggy myself. Perhaps I should take a nap. After I take a walk and fix myself up some breakfast, or no, not breakfast, lunch. Fix myself up some lunch. Yeah, lunch sounds good. Okay, maybe when I'm done outlining this hair, I'll go ahead and end this stream, go for a walk, make myself a sandwich, maybe take a nap depending on how you feel, or start working on some concept sketches or something, just to take a little break from the monotony of working on commissioned artwork. It's like I do appreciate commissioned artwork, but then, you know, working on a it's much like working on a job, but when you work on a passion project, you're that much more excited about it. I do appreciate the commission work, but pretty excited to start working on these other passion projects I have in mind. And I think part of the challenge in production is reaching out to some of the women in the YouTube community to approach for voiceover work, because I've already have it in mind that I want YouTubers to voice the characters or the fan made project I'm attempting or going to attempt to produce. And I already have several YouTubers in mind for some of these characters. Dirge of a Dead Man says, "What's up, boy?" Oh, Dirge of a Dead Man. You've come so late. Dirge of a Dead Man says, "I can do voices, my dude." Do you have a YouTube channel? I'd like to hear some samples of your work. Because right now, the only voices I have plotted out are the main female cast for the most part. And I've been toying around with trying to figure out which male voice actor would fit like one of the other uh, pivotal characters. All right, I'm gonna have to check out your videos. Let me make a note of that. Where are my post-its? There they are. Let's see. Making a note. Check out Dirge of Dead Man's channel for voice casting option. This post-it isn't sticking. There we go. Dirge says, don't even want a main role. Be happy with a background character. Oh, could possibly be a security guard character or like some of the other characters I have in mind. But again, I don't want to think too far ahead, but as far as male actors go, I think there's for the latest possibility would be uh, either a scientist, random scientist, or a security guard. In fact, let me make a note of that on the same post-it. Where did I put my pen? There it is. Whoops. BG character. Scientist slash security guard. Security guard. Oh, okay. We have the outline for the side hair now. So we're more or less done with the outline for this character, and all I have to do is color it. But I'm going to save that for later as I feel slightly groggy. I'm going to go ahead and go for a walk, have a sandwich, see how I feel afterwards. Maybe I'll take a nap, or maybe I'll just jump back on this stream. Who knows? But for those, uh, well, thanks to those who participated in the chat. You guys are always a delight to interact with. Um, for people who want to support or help support the creation of more of these videos, support the stream, or support more art content from me, I do have a Patreon site. I'll leave the link in the description section below. Check it out. I got a lot of free content there, and if you like what you see, think about hitting that become a patron button. If Patreon's not your thing, I also have a GoFundMe account. The link will also be located in the description section below. And I'm also a member of DeviantArt, Fur Affinity, and Ink Bunny. And if you're a member of any of those websites, feel free to start following me on them said websites. And hope you enjoyed watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you like. If you enjoy it. Jessica Darkfire just popped in. Hey, how's it going? Sorry, you popped in right at the end here. I'm just wrapping this up, and most likely I'll start another one later this evening. But right now, I really want to go out for a walk, loosen up my withered old bones, maybe grab something to eat because I feel slightly peckish as well. And yeah. Jessica Darkfire says, "Oh crap, you're ending it," and she face desked. Bam. Oh, I'm sorry, but I'll be back on maybe in an hour or so. But depending on how I feel, just maybe later this evening. But yeah, um, thanks for watching. And hold on, let me whip out my usual. Let's see. I usually pop out the deuce thumbs up. So here you go. Yeah. Got to get the thumb wiggle in there too. Yeah, so thanks for watching. Hope you had a blast, and check y'all later. Bye. Let's see. How do I end this thing? Oh, it's over here. Okay. There we go. Stop streaming.